Welcome to the December 11th, 2025 meeting of the Town of Concord Historical Commission. We are conducting this meeting in accordance with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Order, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. The public may access this call through both telephone and video conferencing. There, did it. Okay, quick roll call. Melissa Sawfield.
Melissa Sawfield's here.
Nancy
Sarah
Frisell.
Cusin.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go. I'm just going through the screen. Sarah Cusin.
Here, present.
Lauren Meyer.
Here.
Nancy Frisell.
Here.
And Callie Naris.
Here.
Beautiful. Okay. That's it. So top of the agenda, you just want to follow the order of the agenda first. So your hand is up, Ann.
Ann has her hand up. Ann, you're muted.
I'm sorry. There's one HTC member here, Kristen Dahlman, so you might want to just introduce her, even though
Okay.
the rest of the
Kristen Dahlman.
I'm
HTC.
here from the HTC.
Yep. All right. So the first on the agenda, we have the demolition review for 86 Prairie Street. We have our presenters. Our presenter. Or do we not have any presenter?
Is that the homeowners?
Yes, the homeowner, Rob Greenberg. Yes, he's here.
Hi. Yeah, I didn't realize I was the presenter.
Okay.
And the short version is we're not contesting that this is preferably preserved. So there's not much presentation.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay. That being the case, does someone want to make a motion?
Can we just, since some of us weren't party to the earlier discussions about the house, I think it would be great to just have a wee bit of CHC conversation about it.
I would agree. Maybe Anne, maybe could you pull up the images? Because we have talked about this house or this neighborhood, particularly on a number of occasions. It's a very important neighborhood, particularly to the history of West Concord and history of the MCI Concord.
Maybe someone should say what the history with the historical commission is, that this is the third time the house has come up for review.
Well, it was a part of the Darby Street, what I forget the proper term, but anyway, these properties were built as residence for people who work for the prison. There are a number of them. This whole area, this whole neighborhood, and in fact, this is an aside, not a part of this application, but we and the Historical Commission have talked sort of informally about perhaps designating this area as a local historic district, or certainly looking into it. I presume I hope everyone has read the information that I presume Anne has provided, which went into detail the history of the development of this area and the superintendent and the workers at the prison.
So I don't know if you want me to speak to this, but I did put together quite a long report the last time this building came before the commission for a demo review. I think this was the second time that it had been before the commission. This was back in 2022. And it's, a contributing property to the well-preserved Derby Addition neighborhood, the first major subdivision of farmland in West Concord, supported by and created for the prison. It was a speculative house associated with late 19th century contract labor prison movement, and it represents a broad but unusual pattern in residential development that deserves more further study. So it's historically significant for its association with the Massachusetts State Reformatory and the woolen and textile industries that the reformatory supported through contract prison labor. This is particularly important to the history of Concord since woolens were the town's dominant manufacturing industry. And so there's, a more detailed report showing this neighborhood before it was developed in the Derby edition, just after the streets were laid out, and this was 1893. And of course, the prison is like right over here. And this is, adjacent to the railroads. Here's a map showing that area also being laid out just before this house was built. I won't go into the details, but it's really fascinating stuff. Frank Sanborn, who's well known as one of the Secret Six and a transcendentalist. He was also a leader in the Massachusetts State Board of Charities and was very involved in prison reform. And he studied prisons in Ireland and brought those reforms to America. It was used in Elmira, New York, and then brought to Massachusetts. Here's, the neighborhood that was developed by one of the superintendents in the, I guess it was the Reformatory Wool Department Superintendent, James Dunlop. And then this report just goes into the history of who lived there, and they were, workers in the prison. So it's just got a really amazing history, and it's, just a wonderful little building architecturally as well.
Yeah.
And it looks to be in very good shape. Thank you, homeowners.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I ask, Doug, the homeowners, I realize what you're looking to do is to build a more energy efficient property. And since you aren't contesting what you presume probably we have found it preferably preserved, are you just expecting to wait out the year and then tear it down?
Yes. To be blunt, we don't know what we're doing, but we're thinking ahead. So
Could
go ahead, Lauren. I know you're chomping at the bit to talk about.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Thanks. I live not too far away. I'm a new resident in West Concord. I just think this is a lovely house, and I would be very sad to see it go. The reason I wanted to speak up is for really two reasons. The first is one of the things that we've been really talking about a lot in the development of our community-wide historic preservation plan is the role of historic preservation in sustainability, and the fact that existing buildings do in fact hold, embedded carbon, and there has been a lot of stuff published by the National Trust related to why historic preservation is a really good for energy conservation, because you're keeping all of this embedded carbon in one building, and you're not tearing it down and importing more materials from another location. I personally have been through a big process where we sold our very pretty historic house in about the same age, little different style, little different architecturally. And we did everything we could over the 30 years that we were there to make it as energy efficient as we could, including solar and a very fancy German heating system, new storm windows, everything according to what Historic New England recommended. Not possible to make it net zero, however. Big drafty house. And so we sold it to the next steward and we moved into Mill Run, which is part of Dan Gainsborough's two developments on the Assabet Riverwalk being the first one. So I now live in a buttoned up 1,500 square foot net zero house. And we chose that new construction, but we didn't tear down our lovely historic house in the process. So, you know, I'm empathetic to the fact that it is difficult to make an old wood frame house net zero. No question. But there is a lot you can do to improve its energy efficiency and keep the, keep it in the neighborhood. So
I just want to, as a homeowner, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I've read this same things you read, that it would take, 20, 25 years to recoup the carbon, even if it is net zero. So it's a long game in terms of, climate consciousness.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're reading the same stuff. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Lauren. Nancy, did you want to say anything?
Yeah, I just want to talk, especially because we have a few new members. So because I think those of us who have been on the commission for a little while, we've talked about these same issues already. With the prison MCI currently under study for development, it's going to change, and that part of West Concord is going to change immensely and make that part of Concord, or all of Concord, different forever. And there are a few historic buildings on that site already that we are hoping won't be torn down. And
Well, this property isn't on that site.
I know,
It's
no, I'm just relating it to it.
good. Yeah.
I'm getting there. And so the surrounding neighborhoods that are part of that history, obviously we want to preserve that. And these houses, it makes a whole streetscape as a neighborhood. And once the building is gone, it's lost forever. We're not going to get it back. So it will change the whole streetscape, and also that with a lot of change in West Concord already, this is going to be tearing down a house that fits into an existing neighborhood and making a change is, a loss. So I just wanted to state that for the record, because I know this house, that we've already discussed this house in the past.
Yeah. Thank you. Are there any other comments? That being said, are we ready for a motion? Melissa?
So I move that the house at 86 Prairie Street that be preferably preserved, and we impose a demolition delay for a year, beginning this evening at the public hearing.
Okay. All in favor?
Someone needs to second it.
I'll second.
All right.
Lauren?
Motion, and it's seconded by Lauren Meyer. All in favor, Nancy?
Aye.
Lauren?
Yeah, aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
That's your motion, and myself, aye as well. And do we need to promote any of the others to full tonight, since no? Okay. Okay.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
the ayes have it.
I'm gonna hang up. I just appreciate everyone's time. I really do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Yep.
Thank
Thanks.
you very much.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Now moving on to the National Park and Margie. Show is yours, Margie.
Hello. All right.
Hi, Margie.
Can you see me okay?
No.
No.
Yeah, I
No,
see your
I didn't
name.
hear. All right, let's try again. Start video. It's got a big slash through it, but you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay, allow. There we go. I needed to allow.
There
All
we go.
right. Hi, everybody. Nice to see you all again. I have better news this time. I have smaller signs.
Yes.
So hi, I'm Margie Brown. I'm the Integrated Resources Program Manager at Minuteman National Historical Park. And this evening, I would like to present to you some more information about the park's proposed signs that are within the town of Concord right-of-ways and within local historic districts. So I submitted several documents, and whenever you're ready, I can take you for a brief tour through our proposed signs.
Please do.
Okay, so share screen. Let's see, I saw that option. Oh, here it is. Oh, the host disabled attendee screen sharing. Is that something the host could revise?
Usually it pops up to let me do it, but I can make you a co-host. Here we go.
Yeah, my computer wasn't too happy about letting me use Zoom, so I think everything should, I mean, I'm on, so it did agree to it.
So you are a co-host now. Are you able to share your screen?
Yes, I am.
Great.
Okay, so we're going to go with share. Okay, so the first thing I'd just like to call to your attention, can you see sign plan overview?
Yep.
Okay, so in the submittals was just a kind of a helpful overview of the different types of signs that are within the park. This is solely for background because we are in the process of replacing or adding about 200 signs. But our focus this evening will be on 19 signs, again, within the right-of-way. But this just kind of lays out, if you wanted to have a better sense of what we're working towards, I did include this document in the submittal. Okay, but let's dive right into the PowerPoint. And I'm sorry if you looked at it in advance, because I went back through it this afternoon and I realized, there's a few things I needed to correct. Now let's put it over on my other screen. Hold on.
We can see it just fine.
Well, I was gonna, well, let's see. Escape. Okay. This works. No, it really wants to be on my other screen. But
can I help you, Margie? Do you want me to share my screen? Oh,
I've got it. We'll just it's not going to be in PowerPoint proper, but I think this is good enough. So just to go back to the first one. So this has been a 10-year project. Great news is that we were able to replace some signs along the Concord right-of-ways as part of phase 1. On the one side of this is the sign that was removed, and we now have these new welcome signs. But we have several more signs that we would like to replace, notably in the North Bridge unit, the Wayside, and the western end of our longest area, the Battle Road unit. And, you know, just for visuals, the Barrett Farm unit is in process, so we won't be talking about any of the Barrett signs this evening. We will potentially be ordering some signs for fabrication, but we're not ready to put any of those up yet. Mostly going to talk about the North Bridge unit, quickly about the Wayside unit, and again at the Battle Road unit. We have a lot of sign designs by a sign contractor who wanted to adhere to all of the roadway guide sign standards for 4-inch letters. Now those can be modified in a historic district. And so what we've done is we've dropped the cap size down, and you'll see that as we go through the presentation that we're really looking towards some smaller signs. So here is the Northbridge unit with the overlay of the local historic districts. And so we'll be kind of diving in to more detail for each one of these red dots. You also see a couple yellow dots. So those yellow dots are Town of Concord owned land that is managed by the park. And this is a wonderful arrangement because this allowed us to have the parking lot open when the government was shut down. So, we've had this partner management approach for years. So I wanted to make sure that the Town of Concord is comfortable with the sign replacements within the town-owned land. So that will be at the tail end. We'll be looking at the signs in the yellow dot areas. Any questions so far? Okay, let's dive in. So signs number 1, 2, and 3 are in the Monument Square area. And these are all existing signs, but now 2 of them are gone. So we will page down. So so I put in a few aerial photographs, and these are from the location plans that were prepared by our sign contractor. And so number 1 is actually, it was up in the island near the Colonial Inn, but the sign contractor dropped it over closer to the town building where there's another sign. It's a no parking sign. So that is something, we'll work out as we go through this presentation. Number 2 exists. It's there. It's looking a little tired. And number 3 disappeared recently at the intersection of Haywood Street and Lexington Road. The post is still there, but the sign is gone. So here we go. Back to number 1. So found a historic photograph of the old sign. That is on the left. And it's gone. But, and actually some of these other signs are gone now as well. But if we were to reinstall that missing sign, we have a couple choices. One would be to do a 2-inch cap, and I did a photo simulation, or to do a 3-inch cap. Now, before, of course, I had the 4-inch caps, and I was just so apologetic, but that we have now finished with the sign contractor. The next phase, design, fabrication, and installation, it's highly likely that we will be working with a different sign contractor. We had great success with our fabrication and install for our phase 1. Everything went very smoothly. So we're hoping to see that contractor again. So, but I can keep going just so you have more information. But note the difference in the sign size and legibility between a 2-inch cap size and a 3-inch cap size. So here is another example. Here's the existing sign. It's still there. It is a little hard to read. Those letters are 2¼ inch cap, and there's a lot of information on that sign. It's also paired with some other signs. And then here is an example of the sign that is now gone. Again, 2-inch cap, 3-inch cap. Okay, any questions before I move on to some more of the signs?
Margie, on the existing signs, do you know what the size is on that type? Is that 2 inches or 3 inches?
It's 2 1/4.
Okay.
And you can see
Yeah.
It's title case, so most of those letters are lowercase. So the cap height is 2 1/4, but most of the letters are more like 1.5 inches tall.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You also notice there's a few very subtle things here that are different. The old signs are serif font, which is easier to read in writing, but not necessarily in signs. And all signs through DOT standards are moving away from serif fonts to the sans serif. So just wanted to point that out too. Any other questions about these first three?
Just are there any other town departments that need to weigh in on this? I'm thinking like, DPW or, any of the street
Yes.
engineers or anything like that.
And they wanted us to come to you all first.
Okay.
But they have very clear standards for things like distance between signs. That's why we really can't put a sign where that no parking sign is, because that sign kind of gets its own space. Another example would be a crosswalk. So if there's a crosswalk, we're going to put our sign 100 feet away from it. The posts are now all pretty standard. They're breakaway posts. So those would be a black powder coated steel. And you do see those around town now. So yes, so we've
thought of everything. You've done this before.
But it's very important that I check in with y'all first.
Yeah. Okay.
Any other questions? All right, let's go on and take a look at some more signs. So what's pretty cool about this location is we're at the junction of 3 historic districts. So this is Lowell Road at the crossing of the Concord River. And just to kind of go on to the next, we've got this aerial photograph here. We have an existing sign, but the sign designer proposed 2 additional signs. So we'd love your feedback on whether we should proceed with 2 additional signs. So here's the existing sign, and we can only see 2 components of it. So we've got historic Concord Center. There is another sign, and it's pointing towards the park, but you'll see what the sign designer proposes instead. So here is an updated sign that directs to Concord Center or the Battle Road, or the Barrett House in the other direction. And this is behind the guardrail. So we don't have to worry about bicyclists or pedestrians. It's also parallel to the road. So this seems to be a good candidate for the 3-inch cap size, which would make it very legible from people who come down Liberty Street, just to go back to where it would be. So if you are coming down Liberty Street and you've stopped and you don't know which way to go, this sign is going to say, well, go this way if you want to go to Concord Center or the Battle Road, or go this way if you want to go to the Barrett House. Okay. Now here are the 2 new proposed signs. So if you're traveling north on Lowell Road, there's a crosswalk sign here. This is Liberty Street. The sign designers have proposed adding a sign, and so I put it's supposed to be 100 feet. Now, when you're doing photo simulations, it might not be perfect, but the idea is that this sign would be 100 feet before the crosswalk sign. So there would be no limited view sheds. And then the other sign, which I didn't do a photo simulation for, would be if you were going southbound on Lowell Road. you would see just the same sign with the arrow pointing in the opposite, pointing up towards this direction. And it would tell you to turn up onto Liberty Street to get to the North Bridge Visitor Center. Okay, any questions about those 3 signs? All right, let's keep going. These are in here just for a little bit more detail on those first 6 signs. But here we're going down. Let's see, where are we going here? Oh, yes, we've gone up the hill to where I am now, up near the North Bridge Visitor Center. And then we're going to go down Monument Street. So, and North Bridge Visitor Center is right in here. Now the sign designer put a lot of signs around here, and some of them, if you see the cross out marks, those are signs that, oh, actually those ones we decided we'd try to keep, but most of them up around here, those are going to go. So what we have here, 789, this is an existing sign, and I can move on to that. It directs people to turn in to the parking lot for the North Bridge Visitor Center. So this is the sign we have now. Well, that's a little incorrect because we have 2 visitor centers. So it should say North Bridge Visitor Center. And all the signs now have the international symbol for parking, the P. So that would be, and we're advocating that it be a 2-sided sign right across from the entrance to reduce the number of signs in the landscape. And similarly, if you head east on Liberty Street to the intersection of Monument Street, here's an existing sign, Minuteman NHP Visitor Center. And again, it's got that 2 1/4 inch cap with the serifed letters in title case. Here is a photo simulation of the revised sign. Now you have to disregard the direction of the arrow because the contractor did not make mock-ups of arrows in different directions. That's in the fabrication specs. So ignore the arrow, but we have 2 different sized signs. One is with 2.5 inch cap size, and the other is with the 3 inch. So based on our initial conversation about signs, the sign manufacturer or designer did try and stack words where feasible to improve going for height versus width. So that would improve sight lines on either side of the sign. The signs will be taller, so that is why that's better.
Margie,
okay.
Ann Clifford has her hand up.
Oh, excellent. Yes,
Right.
question?
So, yes, Margie, thank you. You had walked me through some of this earlier, and my questions were about especially number 7 and number 8, because the photos show the existing signs as being quite low, so you can, and they're horizontal, so you can see over them and see the beauty of the landscape. And then you explained that the new sign would actually not be at this height. It would be much taller. It would be the same height as the street signs, right? So I just wanted to, so I think in this is that still the case, or are you suggesting that they be low?
Well, so the sign that we have so many bicyclists, so the sign being taller and narrower is much safer for the bicyclist. The height will really have to do more with the breakaway sign requirements and having sign. I I think in general, I mean, we'll have to pitch that to engineering. If there is a possibility of putting the signs lower and making sure they don't get too wide for bicyclists, we can explore that as, you know, a preference. But those breakaway signs standards are pretty stringent along roads now. So it's kind of a trade-off between safety, regulations, and view shed.
Right. I guess it's just to make sure everyone understands that this is not actually what it would look like. It would be much taller. It would be just about, is it like 60 inches?
Yeah, with this one, it's more likely you would see underneath it than, and the other consideration is the change in grade. So coming up the hill, what would you see versus coming down the hill? I think the signs will be more likely to block the views when one is coming down the hill. So, all right. Yes,
Thank you.
definitely. I think we've flagged that concern, and there will be, as they get into fabrication, we'll be able to see what each sign will really look like and modify anything. The reason I dropped the photos right on the existing posts is I wanted to compare this sign size with the existing sign. So here, both of the options are certainly narrower than the existing sign. The lettering is about the same size with the 2.5-inch cap, but the 3-inch cap would be much more legible to most vehicle operators. So we can talk more when we get to the end about whether we're going to go ahead with 2.5 versus 3. We're certainly not going with 4, but the trade-off between legibility and size. So any further questions? Okay, I'll keep going.
Lauren,
So
you're on mute, Lauren. I saw your hand.
Margie, just a quick thing. I'm looking at the Google images as we're doing this. The existing sign, do you know what the distance is from the ground to the bottom of the sign?
I would say they range from 3 to 4 feet.
That's exactly what it looks like to me. I was going to guess 3.5 feet. And then if the new sign, is it 60 inches to the top or is it 60 inches to the bottom of the sign?
60 inches. Let's see. Where do I have that?
Should I look at the, should I open the spec doc?
Yeah, I think it's to the bottom of the sign.
That
And then
makes
they go
sense.
up from there. And
60
that,
to the top is only 5 feet. That's pretty low.
yeah, and you know, this is all coming, I mean, the town basically has these standards as well.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
these signs are, I think, too low. I'm pretty familiar. I lived in the area for 30 some years and
Yeah,
they're very low. These
they're very low.
horizontal signs, just people don't see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they also get, these ones get knocked over a lot. So
Yeah.
we just put them back up.
Yeah.
But and you know, here I'll just jump to the next one. Here's an example of a sign at regulation height. So there's the crosswalk sign, or I could even go back. We had that other one here. You can see what the regulation height is for the sign. I would say it's about 60 inches to the bottom of the sign. and then they kind of go up from there.
I
All right.
actually did just
Well,
find the
thank you.
specs, and it is 5 feet to the bottom of the sign.
Yeah. Okay.
okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, so here, this isn't a very good photo simulation. Sorry about this. But this is a sign that would say basically that there's parking ahead. It's a P with an arrow. And I can just jump ahead to show you. Oh, no, I guess I jump back to show you what that sign looks like. So this parking with the big P and the arrow is what would be along the road. It's just after you cross, you can see the Monument Street Bridge. And this is not an orange sign for a crosswalk. It's a warning sign that there are pedestrians ahead. And so we would add another sign that says there's parking ahead. Okay. And then once you get a little closer, and I did a couple photo simulations here. This is the sign I'm most concerned about because you have such a narrow band here. So we have a crosswalk. This is the North Bridge parking lot going over to the North Bridge. And we had a sign, and it was very low. Of course, it was knocked over, that told people that they could turn into the parking lot. So here's another slightly closer up photo simulation. You know, I think you all know this is a very congested area when the tour buses pull in. And it is a little confusing how to get into this parking lot. So this is an important sign. I thought if they could drop it in just before this telephone pole, that it could sit neatly between the road and the sidewalk. And this is a case where having the sign up high is beneficial so that nobody hits their head on it. And then having this telephone pole in proximity is just another thing that kind of gives people a heads up that they have to be careful. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this sign. You know, right now it's proposed at a 3-inch cap because if the signs are too small and people slam on their brakes, then they get rear-ended. And 3-inch seems to be a good compromise. You know, it's not as big as 4 inches, not too small, but 2 inches. So what are your all thoughts on this one? You can see the side would be 22 inches wide by 25 inches tall.
There's a double yellow line.
Yeah, going right into the parking lot.
It's confusing as a driver.
Yeah. So the entrance would be, looking at your PowerPoint, the entrance to the parking would be right there in front of the car, right?
Yeah, that is anyone who's going southbound, that is the way they get into this parking lot.
But if you're coming, but there's a double yellow line.
Well, maybe we should work with the town to get a break in that, because it should be. The other way, if you're coming from the other direction, you don't have to make a turn like that. You just go straight into that parking lot
there. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a nice new sign that says North Bridge. So yeah, but this one it's a little bit tricky to get into this parking lot for our southbound visitors.
Well, I have a question. I do have a question. Because if you're coming south, I guess it's south, right? From town, you come into the little, you veer off to the right, you come in, you loop all the way around and come back out because this is also an exit.
Exactly, which is messy. I don't think we've ever had a collision, but it's a very narrow space. to both get in and out of, and it's not adequately painted. So these are all things I've been like making notes about.
Okay.
I don't think we can have our sign contractor paint stripes, but we definitely need to do another mini contract to get that paint work done.
Do you know the proportion of people coming in from the north versus the south?
It's much less, but it's
I would
our
think so. Coming
visitors
down
who,
Monument is,
some of our visitors, they park at the upper lot and then they
Yeah.
hear, oh, it's a shorter distance if
That's
I park
true.
at the other
That's
lot.
true.
And so
Yeah.
then they come
Yeah.
down this one.
Yeah. I can see that.
And in some cases it's tour buses. Bless them. I don't know how they do it. It's a tough turn.
Yeah. Well, from what I've experienced, they usually don't.
I have glued that granite post is glued together. It did get knocked down once. So okay, so tricky
Callie will
spot,
attest
but
to the buses.
I'm sorry.
Callie can attest to the buses as well. We both work with the visitor center, and we do tours from time to time, and we witness what the bus tours do.
But they managed to get in. They
do.
They can. Okay. And then, of course, there are people who, now that this sign is missing, they can, and probably to your point, Lauren, there's no break in the line. They continue, and then they realize that they've got to turn in. And so they kind of try and reverse turn to get in to the northbound entrance, which is here.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but we're just glad we have a parking lot, and thank you all for keeping it open. Okay, so and then just this was the other sign. This is a new sign to give people a heads up that they're almost at the parking lot. Is anyone? This is in front of the Elisha Jones Orchard area. So is everyone okay with that one?
Yeah.
There's plenty of room to get this one off of the road, so we're less concerned about the pedestrians and the bicyclists. Okay, well, if there are no further questions, we will jump to signs at the Wayside and Miriam's Corner. I batched them all together just to look at what's going on from the air. This is the intersection of Hawthorne Lane with Lexington Road. And we don't have a sign here right now. We have, I'll show you the sign we have there nearby. We do have a sign here. This is Park Service property in front of the barn. And then we have all of the Miriam's Corner signs that we'll be looking at. So here's the sign that is for eastbound travelers on Lexington Road. And we think that this sign is a little obscure and should be eliminated. One of the reasons we feel we can do this is there used to be one of those old Massachusetts marker signs on the Wayside property, and it's been removed, and so we can put a wayfinding sign in its place. So here's an example, and I think this sign might actually go away. The one, because you can see there's one on the telephone pole proper. We think that instead it should be before the intersection. And then this is the westbound travelers. You can see the Wayside barn behind the sign, and this would be higher up than it is now. And this is to just direct people to take a left at the intersection. So those are the two wayside signs. And then, let's see. Oh, here's Miriam's Corner. So Miriam's Corner, we get to the famed sign with the bite out of it. Can't wait to replace this sign. Now here we're in kind of a different.
The world happened to that.
I know. I think it's snowplow, but it really does look like someone took a bite out of it. I've been at the park 10 years, pining to replace that sign. So now this sign has 4-inch cap. So that is the standard for Mass DOT road signs. So I did a photo simulation if we were to reduce this to a 3-inch cap. So you can see it gets considerably smaller than the existing sign. A 4-inch cap, the way the sign has been stacked and the arrowhead eliminated, it's pretty similar to what's out there now. But again, I mentioned, moving away from the serif font to the sans serif font. So this is the only parking lot in the Battle Road unit that is on Lexington Road. All of the other parking lots are on Route 2A. And so they will be getting 4-inch cap signs to adhere to the Mass DOT standards. So I just wanted to pitch it to you all to weigh in on whether the Miriam's Corner sign should be 3-inch, in which case it will get smaller. And many of the other signs that we were looking at will be 3-inch, or to go with the 4-inch, which would make it kind of in the family of the other parking lots in the Battle Road unit.
I like 4-inch personally, but I can see arguments for smaller. Lauren, you're smiling. You're probably thinking, something less obtrusive, but
I like the 3-inch.
I do too. Yeah.
Because
I must say that the caution I'll give you with the 3-inch is that when signs are small, some people can't read them and they put on the brakes, and they maybe put on the brakes irregularly. So, that's why across everywhere signs have gotten bigger, is just to have less rear ending. But if, you let us know, because this is, one of them is in the historic district. This one is.
So I
like 3-inch because the arrows in the new version are filled in, so they're brighter, and also you have the P that's larger.
Oh yeah, they're both of them are better than what we had, no doubt.
I don't know what happens when they start getting faded. Right now they look very bright.
I presume they're reflective paint or light, right?
It is reflective, yes.
The whole design setup that you've got is so much cleaner. It's more, it's stronger, it's more powerful, it's much more.
Yeah. Either one is an improvement, but yeah.
Yeah. No one can take a bite out of the new sign, okay? Not for lunch.
Well, if you're taking a bite out of air because it's Anne?
Right. So I just had a question. This is the beginning of the Battle Road unit, right? And do you have a site identification sign too? Or is this the only?
Oh, no, that's already in place. That was phase 1. So this middle sign, that's already in place. When you get to Miriam's Corner, you see this sign first. And then if you go another maybe 200 or 300 feet, then you're introduced to your first stop, which can be the parking lot.
Okay.
So.
Right. So if you did not have a site identification sign, I can see definitely having a 4-inch letter. But if you have that other sign, you might not need the letters as large.
Mm.
I think also the smaller size doesn't obscure the landscape as much. The stone walls that are on the right and the left, the farming fields. And as a visitor, I don't know how important the name Miriam's Corner is. So if it's smaller, that might be okay. But what they really want to know is where to park.
There you
Very
go.
true. That's very true. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I would hope they know Miriam's Corner is very important.
Mhm.
If
Or
they
they
came
will
to
know
the
if they
visitor center, they would
They
know.
will
If they've
know.
been on one of our programs, they would know that
It's
it's
where we set
first
them up
battle.
for the running battle.
Yeah, and they actually, it's
They
the
do
first place
know,
where they
but
intentionally fired back at each other. So
Very
Yeah.
important.
pretty significant.
I learned my lessons working there.
Yeah.
I can see the new sign on, I think, on Google Maps, Google Street View.
This
Where's the parking
This
sign
one?
in relation to the new sign? Yeah, that's the
So
one I can see.
yeah, this is truly at Miriam's Corner.
It's right
Um,
at the intersection.
Yeah, and then if I go back to that, let's see, the aerial photograph, I think you can see both.
Because that seems to me a little confusing about where you put that Miriam's Corner parking arrow sign in relation to the welcome to, because it looks to me like the welcome sign is, it's a sort of a Y there. It's right
At the corner.
in the center, right at the corner. Yeah.
Yeah, it's outside of the frame that I have for these. So the one that we just were looking at the picture of that says Miriam Corner parking, there's a pattern all the way along the Battle Road is that you get a sign that tells you there's parking, and then there's right at the parking lot, it says, okay, turn here. And so it's a set of 4 signs, 2 in each direction. What's really nice about our new sign package is using that symbol P. It's going to make for much smaller signs for the turning into the parking lot. And you notice the arrowhead has been eliminated from all the signs. And so that is making the signs simpler, more legible. So here's, you would see that Miriam's Corner parking sign first. And then I think I have this right. Oh gosh. You see one of these, maybe you see this one first and then you see this one. But they're all just simpler.
I still don't quite, I'm so sorry, Margie, I'm a little dense here. I still don't quite understand at the intersection where the parking turn sign is in relation to the new Welcome to Minuteman National Park sign.
Okay, well, I have another document I can bring up. It's the location plans, and that will allow us to look at the area more broadly. So I'm gonna see if I can slide this over for you to look at.
Yeah.
There
it is.
Okay. I don't know why it decided to shrink. Come on, you can do it. Okay. Okay. So now we can. So here's the sign that you're looking at, Google's Maps.
Yep.
So here are visitors. They're traveling along. This is very nice because the first thing it tells them is oh, stay on Lexington Road.
Mhm.
Now they're starting to kind of get into the park, and there's going to be a sign here. I'm actually thinking that this one is just going to say parking with an arrow saying, it's kind of like parking ahead. And then you go a little bit farther, you can see a parking lot. There's going to be a sign right here that says, go in there. Now, if you're coming the other direction, there's a sign here. And then there's a second one saying, okay, it's time to turn into the parking. So this pattern of 4 signs for each parking lot plays out along the whole Battle Road unit.
Got it. Thank you. So now I can see on Google Maps where the existing sign is also, which says Miriam's Corner that way, and it has an arrowhead.
Yep.
Right.
So
got it.
That was what I had in the background. Now,
Yes.
While I have this up, so this is the sign that you're looking at. This is for anyone who's on Lexington Road entering the Battle Road unit. There is another sign up on Old Bedford Road, and that is for southbound travelers. I'm sure there's very few, but there is another sign that welcomes people to the Battle Road unit and the park. So that's right there. And of course, there's one on, if you ever are coming up from Crossbridge Corner, there's one on 2A, right up near the intersection of Lexington Road, etc., all the way along the Battle Road. As you come into the Battle Road unit, there are these Welcome to Minuteman National Historical Park signs. Okay,
So,
any other questions on these overall aerials? Because I can show you more of just over like the next plan.
Margie, so just so I'm sorry, I'm harping on this particular location, but it's because I'm so there will be a net increase in signs in this area. Is that correct? Because now going each way, there's only one sign that says Miriam's Corner and with an arrow into the parking lot. Is that right?
Well, no, that's incorrect. There are or were 4 signs.
Oh, okay.
The first 2 said parking ahead, and then the second one said, okay, Miriam's parking, here it is, turn in. But at this time, those signs are so old, they are falling down. And
I see one of them, the signposts are there, but the sign is missing.
Yes. So this is a problem throughout the park.
Okay.
We have a lot of missing signs, and of course we have damaged signs. So we're very excited about going ahead with this sign fabrication and installation. We don't know if we'll have enough money to replace all the signs, but that's partly why we want to get it to contracting, is just to see how close we are to successfully getting them fabricated and installed. Okay, any other questions about?
Yeah, Margie, I would love to get just a word in quickly.
Okay.
So I'm here representing the Historic Districts Commission, and within the historic districts, the 3 that overlap with the park, we have a lot of recommendations and suggestions of how these signs are designed and how they impact the landscape and structures, and maybe you can speak to this too, but I think it would be really useful if you came in front of the HDC as well and presented these signs.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
I'm happy to do that.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I thought that that was the purpose of this meeting.
So I've heard from a lot of HDC members that this is, it's a very busy time of year. and this isn't one of their regular meetings, so, you know, they block out time for their regular meetings.
Yeah.
But, right, so I think it would be great, Marky, if you would be willing to come before the HDC as well.
Yep. And also, you know,
And-
it's very
Sorry.
helpful, any feedback. It's clear that I need to be more up on sign height. So I'll add that to the slides.
And I think the consistency and the height are things that we look at.
Yep. Okay, and then here are the last two families of signs. So 18 and 19 are signs that are within, 18 is within the alley area, which is where the comfort station is. And then 19 is the triangular parking lot at Monument Street that we were looking at earlier. These are all pretty standard signs. And so I didn't spend a lot of time mocking them up. They're all regulatory replacements. The ones that we have there are just very tired. And then what you would see by the comfort station, we actually already have one of these signs. It's a kind of a orientation sign with a bulletin board. And so this is where, you know, information about programs will be. We're very excited about clarifying what our rules are, because unfortunately, we have a lot of people that break the rules, but they don't know what the rules are. And so this panel of regulations will give people clear guidance on what is disallowed. You see drones, and we get some motorized devices on the trail. And a big one is metal detection and digging. So we're very excited about having that clearly indicated at all of our parking lot areas, or in this case, it's across Monument Street from the parking lot. So that's that. And then this is a new sign. These will be dropped kind of throughout the park to give people distances. And so in this case, it would be in the Monument Street parking lot, but it tells people where the Robbins house is, or how far to walk to the visitor center, which is a half a mile up the trail. You know, North Bridge is 500 feet, etc. So love to hear your feedback on these new signs. And that's all I have. Any questions on these signs that are going to go within the park, but on Town of Concord owned land?
I mean, I don't have any questions. I just am grateful for the new design. I do miss the arrowhead because that's national park, but it is clearly much. They're all stronger. They're clearer. I like the sans serif text is very strong. I don't know if you noticed in today's paper, there's an article about the State Department, Rubio declaring that they're going to do away with sans serif. They're going back to Times New Roman.
Calibri. They're getting rid of Calibri.
Yeah.
Calibri, well, Calibri, they had, but that's a sans serif.
They're
At any
going
rate,
back to Times, yeah,
they're going
Times
to
New
Times New
Roman.
Roman. So as the park moves forward, State Department moves backward.
Does that mean I have to change all the signs?
Maybe so. Your Department of Interior, maybe
Hope
not.
not.
I also just would like to say, I think it's great that you've listed the Robbins house. I like that very much.
Yeah.
Well, we're really excited about getting these signs up. So hopefully, so my goal is to get this to contracting before we might shut down, or who knows what's going to happen. But just want to, you know, I've got to get it moving over there. But, you know, I apologize when I had to present those 4-inch cap signs. I'm curious, having looked at all of those photo simulations, how are you feeling about the 2.5 inch, 2.25 versus the 3-inch signs?
Yeah,
for the wayfinding.
when I first saw them, when I was looking at them before the meeting, I was thinking, oh, I really like smaller because we have, a lot of signs already. So I'm more minimalist, but I think it's hard to see from a picture, it's an
Yeah,
inch
it's true.
difference. So I think you need to go out and actually, see a mock-up of one to really understand the legibility of it. Yeah, that's my
Yeah,
comment.
I'm in the
Because
minority,
as
but
soon
I like the bigger.
as soon as you go, as soon as you make the letters, even just an inch, I was noticing on one of your comparisons, one of the signs had added like 10 inches to the whole overall vertical dimension of the sign. So the height of the letter, it also adds to the overall, size of the sign. So
All right, well,
Mark,
what I can do is remember, Anne, we did some mock-ups for one of our meetings. So I can drop off some mocked up signs at each size. That might help.
Margie, one thought I had is there are a few locations where it's almost a cultural landscape issue. So, for example, I think at Monument Square, I mean, we have a real challenge with Monument Square with so much stuff going on visually and
Yes.
a lot of people wanting to add more to Monument Square. I mean,
Yes.
there's all sorts of little things, trickling. Nancy knows a lot more than I do, but a lot of little, tricklies everywhere about what's happening in Monument Square. And so that's a case where, and by and large, maybe I'm in the minority, but most people drive really slow. You have to. And so I would, in a place like that, I would keep the sign as petite as possible. There are other, and then also that where we were talking about up on Liberty Street, the entrance to the visitor center where, you're replacing the horizontal sign with the vertical sign. That's another place where I think you don't need a big sign. But on these major roadways where you're worried about, brakes and traffic and you've got bicyclists, I mean, it's dicey, driving with a lot of bicyclists in the roadway. So that's maybe calls for the slightly larger font size. So that's my thought about being sensitive, in a sensitive visual environment, let's keep it small. And where traffic's a concern, maybe, the larger size is okay.
Okay.
I'm just thinking through when I go to a place that I don't know, color is also important. If you're going to a national park, you're looking for the color, the brown. So if you're looking, when you're a driver, you're looking for different things. You're looking either for, location if you're a visitor or, so I don't know.
I agree with that. I think brown is the branding, not the arrowhead. The arrowhead might be nice, but I mean, you don't need it. You're not reading it.
I disagree. However, brown and the arrowhead, but I'll give up the arrowhead that obviously the Park Service has.
Oh,
Simple.
But simple is easier to read.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with what Lauren said. I thought the sign at Monument Square, smaller is better. You're not going very fast. There's a lot of stop, there's a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
And the HDC will weigh in on this too, anyway, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll drop off some mock-ups so you can, for our next meeting, if you want to take out the sign and take a look at it.
Okay.
And yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Making some headway. So once we agree on what the sizes will be, I'll meet with the town engineering and go through everything with them. But they wanted me to meet with you first.
I wanted
Bless
to
their souls.
I wanted to add, I really like how the houses that are in the park are now have names on and signs, because there's so many that the national park owns.
Yeah.
And I know the names, but now it's nice to actually see them and be able to look them up. And I just really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even, the sign standards changed from when we put those up. They went up last year, and now if we had wanted to put those up this year, they would look entirely different.
Oh, in what way?
The arrowhead would be removed,
Oh.
and the font would be different. Yeah.
Well, there you
So,
go. So you still have arrowheads on some signs.
yes, we do.
Yeah.
And we have the big arrowhead down in Lexington.
Yeah,
which
at
is
the
kind of-
entryway, right?
yeah. So that worked out really well. And a local stonemason, New England Stonemasonry, did all the stonework. So that was nice that someone didn't come from another part of the country. And, they were very respectful of the New England stonemasonry look. So,
Nice.
all right. Well, I don't know. I can't stop sharing. Can you, Anne, are you the sharer?
I think you
Oh,
did
I
stop
already
sharing.
did stop sharing.
Oh, okay. Oh, I think I see. There. Okay. Well, there I am.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Oh, see,
Okay.
there's the
So,
arrowhead.
hi. Yes, there's the sign. Okay. So, I think, are we any other questions? So next steps will be a meeting, probably going to be in January. Is that right?
Yep.
And a mock-up, and then more information on sign heights. Anything else that you would like to see?
Nope.
I'm good.
Okay. All
Good.
right.
Thank
Great.
you very much.
Thank you all. Have a
Lot of
nice
work.
evening. Happy holidays.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right.
Mhm.
Now for the exciting part, meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion. You ready?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's
Go.
hear it.
So I can't approve the one on September 4th because I wasn't there, but I can make a motion to approve the minutes of October 9.
I second it.
Okay. We have all in favor. Okay, Lauren is a yes. Nancy and Melissa are a yes. I'm a yes. There we've got that one. So September.
Oh, I'll do it. I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of September 4th.
Do we have a second? Lauren.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor? Aye.
Can I vote for something that I wasn't there for? Sure, why not?
You can vote.
Well,
Sure you can. All right. Ayes have it. Meeting minutes are approved.
Great. Excellent minutes, by the way.
And for the record, Carol, I didn't even recognize with the name Don on your name there. So
Oh,
Carol
that's-
Aronson
I
has been with
wondered.
us
I
all
didn't think you're-
along.
sorry.
No, I sent an email. I didn't have everyone's email. I just sent it to Doug and
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
got a glimpse of that. I'm like, I
Yeah.
saw,
I kept
your
talking.
name on the
It was
email.
a
So
new member.
I
It's like,
looked
is
at
that
it.
a new member?
Yes. So welcome.
Welcome.
thank you.
welcome.
And it's really nice to have everybody, Sarah, and Callie and Carol. It's so nice to have some new faces. A lot of the things that we've been doing, like working on the preservation plan, has just been a labor of love and more labor. It's been a 2-year effort, and I've learned that doing things conformant with open meeting law is painful, because the only time we can talk about anything is in these meetings. and which we do faithfully, but it just takes so much time. So we've been getting together almost every Friday morning for 2 hours to go through the latest edits and things that need to be changed. And it's due to the Mass Historical next Friday. So tomorrow is kind of the got it done. Lauren's been doing formatting and it's been looking amazing. And so tomorrow is going to be really the wrap it up. Any last final, now or never. And then I think it's really, then it's for us to really absorb it all, take it all in, and say, how do we want to get this out there? How do we want to really start communicating this? So, and I think that's the fun part, because then it's, interacting with the other town committees, the public, it's kind of up to us what we want to do to really get that out. So, and there's going to be changes, and there's going to be some new things that we're going to want to do. We've never said that this thing is a once and done. We've always said that it's going to be a living document, because one thing that we've learned is we're never done. And if we had more time, if the deadline was in June, we'd be doing it in June. So I'm just thankful that we can just all right, pencils up, test is over.
That's true.
Walk
At least the
away. You're
midterm.
done. You're
At
done.
least the midterm is over, right?
Yeah, right. So it's not going to stop. But
Well, wait a minute. Are we waking up and realizing that we're in our pajamas and we're going into school? Or it's the end of the term and you haven't read a book and you have to German a paper. That's the nightmare.
Yeah. I still have those dreams.
Oh God, I do too.
Yeah. All right. Do we have a motion do we have anything else? There's nothing else on the agenda.
Do we want to, Doug, just a quick thing about what's the agenda for the January meeting? Because I'm just wondering if we want to do that little presentation we were talking about.
Absolutely. Yes.
Is that a yes?
If you're willing to do anything, we've got the demolition review.
We have 2 demolition reviews scheduled.
Okay. We have 2. We have the ComAv, and what's the other one?
1687 to 1689 Main Street.
Right. That one was just submitted, and we realized that all the legal notices were due for January 8th, like today. Or else if we missed that, we would be over the 60-day time period.
Oh, that's my neighbor.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh my God. I had no idea.
So that's
the
one of those
house is a
properties.
wreck. Yeah.
It is one of those properties that's already in the survey, so it's automatically considered historically significant according to the bylaw. So it didn't need to be debated. And I literally found this out at like 4 o'clock today, and Kim was great and got the legal notice out there.
Is this are these Damon properties? I haven't.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So it's not something we need to even have on the agenda, Anne?
Oh yes,
No, you do.
We have to review it.
Yes,
Okay.
just to see whether or not it's preferably preserved, because it's automatically considered historically significant.
Okay, so all right, fine. All right.
Interesting.
All right. Yeah.
Boy.
The way the bylaws written.
Right. Okay.
Salt from all sides.
Yeah. Okay. So Lauren, if you can fit that in.
I could always get it ready. So for the new members, I'll tell you what I volunteered to do a kind of introduction to historic preservation. Just because, it's been an interesting process working on this historic preservation plan. And I think just, going back to really think about why we do this, what does it mean? What are all the pieces? How does it all relate together? What's the role of the historical commission, and so forth? So I volunteered to kind of put that together if that's helpful. Gives and it'd be really I put some slides together. It'd be very informal, lots of questions. Try not to make it too, bureaucratic.
Yeah.
But really a little bit about the history of historic preservation and what all the parts are.
Yeah. Yeah. And for tomorrow, so Sarah, you just texted me that you won't be you're not required to be there. I mean, you're not expected to be there because tomorrow, I mean, it's been Melissa, Lauren, Nancy, and me primarily, and Ann, of course, and does basically most of the work.
Ann is amazing.
Ann wrote the historic preservation plan.
We are so lucky to have
Lauren.
Ann.
And Lauren.
And Lauren, big
And
time.
Lauren, yeah. I mean, it's just, for so many of those meetings, I just sit there and I just listen. And it has been that my job has just been to just shut up and listen.
That's what a lot of men should do, right?
Thank you. Thank you.
And so organized.
Once in a while, yeah. All I can do, I can be organized, and I can say, I think those should be bullets. You know.
Also, you have also suggested the Procter and Gamble, and I still don't understand it.
OGSM, yeah.
OGSM.
Objectives, goals, strategies, and measures. Yeah, it's old business school stuff from back in the day. So anyway,
it's been a great team, I think.
It has been because we all come with something different.
It is,
and boy, can we learn from each other. So it's been awesome. So looking forward to more from you guys. So, all right, are we ready to adjourn? All right, meeting adjourned 8:31 p.m.